bring me current.
I'm trying to bring him current. That song came out
Hey,
in Shane.
Shane. Okay, Shane.
When the song came out? The song came out in 2000 something. And he, look, she said, that's my jam. He ain't never heard a song before. So, internet, what's up? So, what happened was, I'm trying to bring him current, people. Shane said it's 2007. Corey Page know it because him and Terry nasty. What's up, Corey? Hey, for baby, I got your message. How you doing, sweetheart? Hey, Apostle.
Yeah, I sure ain't know nothing about yeah.
What was you listening to, son? In 2007.
2007.
What was in your playlist, if there was such a thing? What was in your 8-track? What was in your What was in your 8-track? He had an 8-track. What was in your 8-track?
I don't know.
What was in your tapes? What tapes was you listening to?
I was just in the gospel rap.
Okay, CDs. Excuse me, my bad.
CDs, yeah.
So you ain't know nothing about that.
No secular music.
If anybody getting to heaven,
know anything about any
I
secular music.
guarantee, if anybody getting to heaven, you getting in it. Your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. I'm sure. If it ain't, I'm gonna say, hold on now, Peter. I'm gonna need you to read that book again. What's up, y'all? How you doing?
I didn't know anything about any secular music for over 20-something years.
So that's why this trivia is important, because it was over 20-something years for him with no secular music. And for me, I grew up in a household where we're not allowed to listen to any type of music besides gospel.
See, but I wilded out. Now, y'all got to realize it was like that because I was over the edge when I was in the world. So when I came over, I kind of canceled out everything. I was...
You ain't trust God in you. You got to trust God in your son.
I ain't take no chances.
Real deep folks, they don't trust the God in them. The God in you say, hold on, what you doing?
I was a little too deep.
The God in you say, hold on, what you doing now? That's wrong. That's what it do. That's what it do. You got to let the God in you work, son.
But it's a good song. It's a good song.
Oh, no, you going to hear this song.
I'm going to hear it.
Oh, yes, sir. If I got to listen to Hail Melvin and the Blue Notes, you going to hear this song just as soon as we log off of this. I was playing it again. So, we are doing couplings right now. What you mean? Yes, it is.
No, it
ain't. You
ain't.
Listen to the words.
I ain't in it.
You have to.
It's in me.
Fred, I don't understand that you said it's not going to teach you anything. It's going to listen. Big worlds keep on turning. Proud Mary keep on burning and teaching me nothing, but you don't see me not listening to it. Because it's something you want to hear. No, you're going to learn the lesson. Oh, an essay is coming.
So listen. Today, this moment in coupling.
He trying to switch it because he don't know nothing about no music. Look! Corey said, come on, Fred.
I'm trying to get there, Corey. I'm trying to get there. I ain't know nothing about the song, man.
All right, let me sing a song for you. All right. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet in the glory.
Today, in coupling, we're talking about submission.
Oh yeah, we had to come in with an icebreaker. Yeah. Men are supposed to submit too.
So we're gonna talk about submit. That's my no. Play it now. I want to hear it too.
What's up, Pastor Steven? Listen.
If I play it now, I want to hear it too.
We had a wonderful time in service yesterday.
We
celebrated 2 years. We thank Pastor Cameron Washington.
Thank you, Cam.
Unity Church is now open. No mask, no message.
Awesome AP. Deloria, you received. Michelle.
Yep. Harriet Hunt said, okay, we switching the subject.
Appreciate you.
So we want you guys to click, tag, and share because we're going to talk about something really quickly on this series of coupling. We're going to talk about his submission and her submission. Did you know men are supposed to submit too?
Yep.
We always talk about women being subject or submitting, but we never hear about a man's ability to submit to a woman. In fact, that's a cliche. No, that's a misnomer. A lot of people are like, no, men aren't supposed to submit. I think that's what we were taught as a people.
I think it's a misinterpretation of a lot of, we was taught it as a people, but also it's a misinterpretation of the word of God.
Right.
Because in order for someone to submit, they have to have something to submit to, or they have to have an example of what submission is, which is the reason why a lot of relationships won't work out, especially new ones. You know, when you over 40, and you're talking about going into a new relationship, and most people that are over 40, they have an idea. Men have an idea about what they want a woman, how they want a woman to submit, or how they want a woman to answer, those type of things. And it can be hard, especially over. And I'm not just trying to exclude this to over 40, but when you're over 40 and you're going into new relationships, as a woman, you already planning out. You already know how to submit, but you still have to have something. You don't just do that out the gate. And a lot of times, a lot of men, they expect that, but they're really not ready for what it takes to give for a woman to see something to submit to.
So you saying women automatically know how to submit? So are you saying women already know how to submit? They just need something to submit to. So why is it that you feel that it becomes automatic for us? Why do men feel like it's automatic for a woman to just submit or fall in line?
I don't think it's automatic, especially in this time. I
Okay.
don't feel like it's automatic.
Men think that it's automatic.
I think men think it's automatic.
Okay, so what makes a man feel that it's automatic for a woman to just do what I say? Or I think sometimes the way men come across makes it very difficult, and women be like, nah, do what you say. Negro, please. I think sometimes you have to allow a woman the ability to see you first. Let me see what I'm submitting to first. What are you bringing to the table that allows me to subject myself, a level of my free will, and what I have to follow? So you have to ask yourself that question. You have to say, as a man, what am I going to present to her first, that she knows that she could trust me with her life? She could trust me with her children. She could trust me with what she has. How does a woman see it and say, I'm going to submerge myself, because submit means to submerge. Submerge myself under him and follow him if he does not put that out there first. So does he subject himself first?
He has to.
So you're saying he should humble himself first?
He has to.
Okay, men don't believe that.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
They don't believe that.
What did you see first to make you know that you were safe at the level where you are,
okay,
to submit to me?
Your teeth. Nigga, you went to the dentist. I looked right at your mouth. I said, all right, he cares for himself, because no man ever hates himself.
Come on, baby. You got to be serious.
Okay, wait. Stop laughing. Y'all click tag and share, because we going a little deeper now. Now you ask the question. I'm going to answer the question, Tanera. No, honestly, the Bible says that if a man loves himself, and I saw that you had an ability to love yourself, that when I found out and I understood your past, that you love yourself enough to become a better person. That means that you showed me the love that you have for yourself. That if he loves himself enough to change, to become better, then he will love me enough to not hurt me. That it's like sometimes women got to look at a man, not just what he brings to the table, how he treats himself, how he treats his children, how he treats his family, how he treats his mother. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit. So I looked at your ability to love yourself. You were working out because you were one place and you said, no, I want to become better. So I looked at your ability to become better for yourself before you became better for somebody else. So it let me know, with 1,100 people watching, click, tag, and share, that I could trust him because he's showing me I care enough for me first, and I can care for you the same way. So I think sometimes women, they're not looking at the fact. I mean, I'm not discrediting anybody, but if you look at a man and he in and out of jail, he don't pay child support, he's hard. I mean, he just, everything that he does is just like, then if you don't care for yourself, what the heck you think you're going to do come in my life for? And so you got to look at the fact, if a man can change for himself first. And because you were like, nah, I gotta work out, I gotta switch, I was looking at, I came in the middle of your transformation.
Yeah.
And you were transforming yourself to be better for you. It's like, that's why I always tell people, be better for you so you can be better for somebody else. So just to see that you're concerned for yourself, you're concerned for everything that was happening in your life to become better, you become better for yourself first and ultimately somebody else. And so that allowed me to trust you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you get it?
Yeah, I didn't see it from that perspective, but from my perspective, I mean, she's definitely right about what she saw, but from my perspective and watching her and seeing where she was, the first thing I knew not to do, well, it's not my part of my character anyway, to try to exalt myself.
Okay.
Or to try to say what a man wants and what a man needs, and
you
I'm a man.
didn't come in with a bunch of demands.
No.
Yeah, and I think that's what happens too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, click, tag, and share someone. It's like you didn't come in with a bunch of demand. I think men come in with a bunch of demand. They come in with a bunch of demands like, I want you to do this. I want you to do this. Wear your hair like this. I want you to lose weight. I want you to gain weight. I want you to... And they come in with all these demands. And it's like, yo, why are you throwing all these demands at me? I don't know you like that yet. And so I think when a man comes in forcefully with a bunch of demands, I don't want to submit under force because you'll be trying to make me do something that's not in me.
I don't think it was when I seen that I didn't want to lose you. When I seen that this is a woman that I want to be a part of her life, the first thing that I made up, and it's just part of my character, is not to try to change anything about her, but to learn who she is. Mm-hmm. To learn who she is without any expectation, just to find out who the person is. It's kind of the same thing she said about me. How was her lifestyle? How does she move? How does she treat people? That's very important to me.
Yeah.
How does she love people? Those were the important things, and ultimately to let her see my submission, because that's what we're talking about. What
would be? Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What would be your view of submission? What would you say a man is supposed to show a woman that will let her relax and say, look, I got you? Now, I'm going to tell you what an old woman told me. This is no lie. I want you to click, tag, and share somebody. This is going to blow your mind. A first lady of a church, an old first lady of a church, she said this to me one day. She said, if you want to know if a man really, really is a rider, ask him to pay a bill. Don't give him a small bill. Give him a big bill. Mm-hmm. Now, this is the first lady of the church. She said, when you ask a man to pay a bill, he going to either disappear or he going to step up to the plate as a woman. And I was like, well, first of all, I don't need nobody to pay my bills. I'm good. I've always been good. Mm-hmm. But she said it's not the principle of him doing it. It's just see if he will take the initiative and see how much he cares. Most women, people are like, oh my gosh, most women have to understand a real man is not going to be threatened by that. A real man is not going to even care for that. Real men take the initiative. And sometimes you got to put them little tests, because it was a test. Mm-hmm. You got to put them little tests out there and see what he does. Why? What you laughing at, Fred?
Nah, go ahead, baby.
No, you laughing for a reason, Fred. Why?
Your test, yeah. You got a test.
What you laughing at, Fred? Why is this so funny, Fred?
Because I'm trying to, we get there. You test me.
Well, yeah, I believe you got to.
Oh, I know you got to.
Because y'all test us. Y'all tested 1,300 people. Y'all test us all the time.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Throw it out there.
She's throwed it out there.
Put a test out there.
She said.
Someone said
so listen, y'all. We had to give y'all a little insight. So we had the jewelers, right? And we looking at rings, and we over at one box looking at rings. Oh, this is a lovely ring, baby. You like this ring? She said, no, I want this, and I want that, and I want this. And when that ring came up, I said, well, how much that ring is? He said, ... I said, yeah, she threw it out there, boy.
I sure did.
And listen, I'm working.
You better sell along. Kidneys are for sale. Plasma is on
Let me
an all-time high.
Let me tell y'all something. This, I ain't even think about it like that.
Plasma is they want plasma now.
But if that's submission, baby, I submit it.
Wholeheartedly. You know my value, pay every penny. Pay, what? Look, Pastor Clay said facts. Yeah, I'm telling you, put it out there. Put that test out there, because a man that knows your value don't mind paying.
Yeah.
And not even that, you're worthy of it.
Yeah.
So many times.
Oh, my baby more than worthy of it.
I'm telling you, that's why you're going to sell that kidney today. No, I'm telling you. It's like, I mean, we're laughing, but I think a lot of times women submit over stuff that they should not submit themselves to.
I believe that.
And men do the same thing too. Know your worth. 1,400 people could tag and share. Know your worth. Why would I submit? I've done this before. It did not end well. Why would I submit? Why would I submit to somebody that does not understand what I'm worth?
Amen.
And vice versa. And so I'm saying I'm too old, especially when you get a certain age. And so real men don't have a problem with being humble.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love too, you were gentle. It's very difficult to submit to a mean man or a mean woman. It's hard.
It's hard.
But men think that because they can be forceful, that she will submit because of this word, dominating. A woman really doesn't want to be dominated.
You know, one thing we was talking about when we was talking about this subject is that I don't think, and I told you this, baby, I don't think people really from this standpoint can really see her submission or her level of submission.
Right.
I think that from the outside, when people see us in ministry or see her in ministry and evaluate what you see from how God uses her, you can't see that.
Right.
But she is a very, 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 very submitted woman to God first, and knows how to be submitted to me in ways that I never saw before. So some of it has to be taught. I want to say this: the way that I define submission, especially when it comes to her, is being able to listen to everything that she's saying and to be able to follow, even though I'm a leader.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Most men get it wrong because we're thinking that we're supposed to be the dominant one when God really never called us to be the dominant one. He told us to be the head. The only thing he told you to dominate or have dominion over was the earth. He never told you to have dominion over the woman.
Wow.
So that's the difference. He said, so even though it's my submission to her is having the ability to hear her and to be able to follow, and she do the same thing without me losing who I am as the head.
But you know what you said that was key? And I think women, I'm going to tell y'all this. I'm going to give y'all a secret. Listen, I want you to click tag and share one lady. Listen, First Lady Bell said it. A soft answer turns away wrath. Most women have to understand that when a man wants you to yield to him, he first has to know how to humble himself enough to meet you where you are. One of the things about, call her and tell her, hold on. Michelle, call Dylan, tell us to give her a minute. One of the things that ladies have to understand is when a man is gentle, his gentleness will soften the pain from your past.
Yeah.
His gentleness will it'll help soften the pain from your past. When you have a man that's a gentle, that's why he's called a gentle man.
Yeah.
He's not called a hard man. He's called a gentle man for a reason, because even God knew that he had to be soft enough to deal with you. And I think a lot of men don't understand, especially in our culture, that when you come to women and you're hard, and you come to women and you're dominating, the only thing we do is we get even harder.
Yeah.
And it becomes a fight. It becomes a dominating struggle.
Struggle of wills.
Yeah, a struggle of will. It's the power of two forces. And so somebody's got to bend. Somebody's got to bend. And so if he's hard and she's aggressive, eventually it's going to break.
Disagreement will always show where a person's submission is.
That's
the one thing, because you know, we have a beautiful time. When I tell you, we crack up, we laugh, we have fun, we do. But we've had moments where disagreement or something came or whatever. And the one thing that she was first able to see is that because she's a fighter. So she's been used to fighting, you know, and I'm saying this for some of you women and some of you men that's out there. You done came out of a relationship. You've been used to fighting. Everything every time something happened, you know, your dukes was up. You had to go, you go into a stance, you go into mode. And the first time that clicked and that happened with her concerning me, she saw that it wasn't a fight. She saw that I stayed in the same place. I stayed in a peaceful place. I stayed in a place of prayer. And I didn't try to, and people will look at me, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't try to dominate the conversation. I humbled myself because humility is power. A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, and especially in our culture.
Yeah, in our culture, people don't understand that humility is power. So when she seen my humility, she was able even more to see my relationship with the Lord and that, oh, okay, this ain't the same. And some of you are going into relationships, but you got the same fight. And before you allow that to mess up something that may be new, allow yourself to see the whole thing before, because sometimes it's the stuff in the past that's trying to ruin your future, because you got muscle memory. If somebody done hit you one time, you got a block that automatically go up, and you got a right that follows that block. That's muscle memory, and we do the same thing spiritually. So humility, somebody has to be able to humble themselves enough to make it work. That's why it says his submission, her submission, because neither one is wrong, but neither one is right.
You know what was the wonderful thing? And I'm gonna give y'all a very valid piece of information. And so I need every woman on here to at least tag a girlfriend. Click right now. Tell a girlfriend, just watch this.
I'm a fighter too.
Just watch this. Most black women are fighters. Most black women are fighters. I'm not saying all of them like this, but we're like this because we've been put in a position that we didn't sign up for. Most black women, unfortunately, the first man that hurt us was our dad. Most black women are put in a position where they are the breadwinners. They have to do everything for everybody. We bury the weight of the world on our backs. Most black women have a level of aggression that most cultures don't have. Understand, not because I wrote the book, The Death of the Angry Black Woman. I'm saying our aggressiveness is part of our makeup and culture. I'm going to say this openly. Dominique Dave Dawkins, listen. Fred was the first man I have ever experienced in my life that was gentle. I'm 48 years old. I'm 48. Fred you're the first man in my life that I have ever experienced gentleness with. So his gentleness and his humility caused me to see something different and say,
right.
Because I was already used to this. I was already used to my mouth. Who you think you're talking to? Because most men that came at me came with, yo, you gonna do this and you gonna do that. You gonna do, hey dad, love you and mom. You gonna do this and you gonna do that. No, let me tell you though, what you gonna do is you gonna do, what? Nigga, who you think you know? And so it was such a fight because it was the battle of two forces. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. It kills me because most men that came with the rah-rah ain't have nothing. Ain't a pot to piss in the window to throw that. And then you gonna come at me all sideways and aggressive? Man, I'll drop you where you stand. And I'm being honest with you, with 1,600 people coming. Fred was so gentle until he showed me stuff I ain't never seen before. I was like, so now when he talked, he opened his mouth. Y'all see me yesterday It's such a, and I'm saying this, I'm gonna say this. There was a statistical study, because y'all know I'm big on statistical studies, that black women who get into relationships with white men, statistical studies said this. This is not my theory. It seems as if women who of color with interracial relationships, they become more subservient.
Wow.
It was a statistical study. I'm like, hey, yo, ain't nothing wrong with our brothers, because it's not. I think every culture has their problem. But what I found when I studied that there was something that caused her to,
Right.
and I don't think it was the color. I believe, this is my theory, that it was the way he responded to the aggression.
Yeah.
And I'm saying we could all learn from everybody.
Yeah.
Watch this. Everybody. I'm not saying interracial relationships are better, but I know we can have some good black relationships.
That's right.
And I think that we could take a page out of each individual's book, learning, and not the color. I am saying this man was subservient because he was softer. He wasn't a punk or pushover. The way he responded.
Thank you, baby.
No, you ain't. It's the way he responded. He responded so gently until I had no choice but to submit. He said to me, you only got to talk to me one time. You ain't got to do me like that. Now, I'm telling y'all, because I brought the ride. You ain't got to just talk to me one time. And it was just that moment how he responded. And there is what the scripture said. A soft answer turns away wrath. And I'm telling these husbands, I'm telling these men, I'm saying if y'all trying to get in a relationship, find someone that does not combat your aggression.
Yeah.
Look for someone that knows the subservientness in his voice and his response, and you will yield with him without a problem. It's like your response got to be like, yes, okay, no problem. I'm gonna wait. But when you cussing her out, when you tell her she fat, she ugly, yo, you ain't got nothing. When you giving that same aggression with 1,700 people looking at me right now, it causes a cataclysmic, combustible fight, and you're never gonna go anywhere because it's almost like a positive and a positive. Have you ever taken a battery, one of them flat batteries, and it's a positive and it's a positive, and you try to put the battery together, and it never connects, and it just works. The minute you take the battery, you go like this, it goes the other way. And so when you got two forces and you're trying to make something work, the batteries keep going like this, and it never clicks. So it takes a negative and it takes a positive to cause something to operate. And I think a lot of times in our cultures, especially as a black woman, I'm saying we want to be soft. We want to be subservient. We want to submit. But if you give us something to submit to, I can't submit to someone that's more forceful. It's hard to submit to somebody that ain't paying bills. You ain't bringing nothing to the table, David, and now you want me to do what? And you want me to do what? And then you want me, because I said so, because you, what? If you don't go somewhere and play in traffic. But if you come and you're subservient and you're like, okay, well, we're not going to do that. We ain't gonna do that. And I think in our culture, we both are aggressive, but somebody's got to yield.
Yeah. And the thing, this is the thing that I think a lot of black men get wrong. We automatically think that we have to, if we're gentle, if we are soft in our answers, in our wisdom, and that's what I want you to hear, because that's what it is. If you being some type of punk, or you what word we use in the South, henpeck, and that's not the case. The case is, and I always like, you have to know the person you with. And how was that scripture you always use, baby? Dwell with them according to knowledge. So if you ain't got the knowledge of the person, I'm talking about the full knowledge of the person. So you just can't come at them hard. So for most of us, we get it wrong. Black men, we get it wrong because we feel like we need to get hard, or we need to usurp or assert our authority. And that's not what you need to do. And that's why a lot of us keep missing the right ones, because you came wrong. If they have already dealt with fools, and you coming into the picture, it is outright crazy for me to think that I'm not going to do something that would trigger something from her past.
Right.
It's outright crazy. I don't want to do, but what I'm going to do is always listen and respond, not react.
Wow.
I'm
So
gonna
you
always listen
and respond, but not react.
and respond and not react, because first of all, I got to know, where does that come from?
Right.
If it's come from me, then we can talk. And if it come, this is the thing about it. So in other words, the wisest journey, or the wisest path in a new relationship is humility and humbleness. Because if you really want, if that person is for you, and you really want to see the submission in the other person. Another thing is, I never really look for submission. It just comes because of the way I built myself. So I never came into the relationship, you gonna submit to me, and I gotta be the man. I already know who I am, but I also know if I do what I'm supposed to do as a man, then submission will automatically come anyway.
So, but like I always said, I said this to you before, the man sets the tone.
You're right.
Because the man sets the tone, it's almost like the Pied Piper. Everybody know the story of the Pied Piper. Tag somebody. Trust me, we getting ready to get good. The Pied Piper was a story about the Pied Piper. They was having a problem with rats.
Right.
And so the Pied Piper just took his little flute, and he and the mice followed him, and he just drowned them. That's not the end of the story as far as the drowning, but the Pied Piper, the man is the Pied Piper. The man is the one that he toots that flute of gentleness and humility, and they will follow. No woman wants to follow a man that does not give me something to yield to.
Yeah.
So it was very easy, despite the pain of my past, to follow my future, because he gave me a song to dance to. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong. I think a lot of men, my mother used to say, you catch more flies with honey than you can vinegar. And I think when we come from a culture that's we are a very aggressive culture. We're a very aggressive culture. What happens when a woman says, he too soft for me, I'll run him over? Because you do have some women, they say that. They say, you know what? Nah, he too soft for me.
That ain't always from a good vein though, baby.
Okay, explain that.
You know, I think the way that I am, if it were another type woman that was used to, that couldn't come out of the fight.
So you think there's some women, they like that?
They can't come out of that.
They used to.
They're used to that, and they think a man cares if he
Yeah. I had
I'm serious.
no, I did. I counseled a couple from Cuba, and she said he doesn't love me, and I said, well, why would you say that? And he stood up and said, the reason why she doesn't feel like I love her because I won't hit her. That's demonic. They damn near need medication. They need medication. Anytime you can't differentiate between a good man and a good touch, and you can't differentiate from that, then you need help. Because I do believe that, just like that movie with Tyler Perry, some women have had such a bad man until they can't recognize a good one.
Yep.
And that's vice versa too. Where you have some men who had bad women they can't recognize. That's just life.
That's life.
That's life. But that's why I said when we first started that I looked at how you love yourself first.
Yeah.
And once I saw that you love yourself enough to change your character.
I was delivered
right,
within myself.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes people can't receive people because they're not delivered from themselves first. And so how do they get connected to people who are like themselves? Is because they're attracting what they're about. Right?
That's hard.
So when you were delivered and you were working on yourself, you created a caveat, or you created an atmosphere for me to see that, you know what, this man is ready to receive me because he has the ability to fix himself. Not that I needed fixing, but he's a missing component of what I need to be whole, because I'm so used to the aggressive. My father was aggressive. Every relationship I was in, they was just aggressive. And I'm like, where's I? But then I was aggressive. So then in getting counseling, I realized that I was connecting to the familiar. So when you came along and you were whole, the unfamiliar connected themselves. And I said, that's not what I'm used to. That's different. I like that. So when you came along and you were gentle, it allowed me to yield to something different that was a missing component of what I needed. So that's why I said, in order to know how to submit, you got to know what you want to submit to. And how do you women identify that? different than what you're used to.
And that's how it's going to come. You got to be ready for what you have not experienced before.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to receive it.
And yes, you can't, because it will feel strange.
Yeah. Yeah.
She kept, she would just keep saying things, and I'm just doing what I normally do. Mm-hmm. But to her, she was like, man, I ain't never experienced this. Yeah. No, I haven't experienced this. No, right. I haven't experienced this. And my reassurance is that we're going to experience a whole lot of this. Mm-hmm. Because the one thing is, if your man have to fight you, mm-hmm. for you to feel like you love, then mm-hmm. something is wrong in the inside of you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you feel like that he has to argue with you, mm-hmm. and he got to cuss you back out, mm-hmm. something wrong. Yeah. All men are not like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of the first things that I, as a young man, mm-hmm. is that I'm not finna be in a relationship with nobody that I gotta fight. Mm-hmm. I grew up, with my mama that's still with me. Mm-hmm. I love my mama, and I seen my mama go through stuff. Mm-hmm. So I already knew that I was not gonna be the dude. Mm-hmm. That's that's hitting his his from the South, his old lady, mm-hmm. His girlfriend. I wasn't gonna be that dude. Right. And I had already decided if that's got to be me, then that's not what's going to happen. So that's before Christ. Yeah. So God just really molded me and shaped me in the way that he needed me to be, mm-hmm. so that I was able to come into a relationship and respect. So when I met now, mm-hmm. my wife, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. the one God has called me from, mm-hmm. from the beginning, mm-hmm. I was able to receive her and know who she is. Mm-hmm. But it did take a minute of adjustment, and that's what we're telling you. Mm-hmm. Allow yourself to adjust before you cast it off as not being loved. Right, exactly. I think one of the things too that I'm going to ask, I'm gonna do a clarion call. Can I do a clarion call? Yeah. I'm gonna do a clarion call that if a young man is watching this, and if you are aggressive to your wife or to whoever you're with, I am going to ask you to please stop. And I'm quite sure that Apostle Fred would agree with me. Yeah. Stop it. Inbox me and tell me why. Let's talk. Not going to become subservient. She's not going to submit to you. Nope. The only thing she's going to do is she's going to shut down. She's going to get angry. And you are not going to have a healthy relationship. If you're a man and you are aggressive and you're trying to force her, anytime you got to force a woman to do something, anything, don't ask her, ask yourself. What are you putting in her? Anything that you put in, you get out. We're incubators. We receive. You give us a baby, you give us a seed, we give you a child. You give us hell, you get hell. That's the way it is. Mm-hmm. But if you are being aggressive and mean, if you're talking to her like a dog, she's already aggressive. What you're doing is you're fueling a fire that's already ignited in her. And it gets worse. And it's going to get worse and worse. Likewise, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this openly with 1,800 people looking at me right now. I want you to click, tag, and share one more person before we go. If you are, listen to me, a woman, and you are aggressive and you are angry, I am going to say it's coming from a place. Yeah. Naturally, we are nurturers. Naturally, our ability to fix stuff. Naturally, we are the ones that nurture and coddle, protect, and we can bring things back to life. That's our innate ability as a woman and a lady. So if we're not automatically giving you that, there's a reason for it in a relationship. Both of you have to make an assessment. Oh, they going in here to do damage. Sorry, y'all. Both of you have to make an assessment. And in your assessment, if you guys are not kind to one another, somebody got to... I'm going to say this. I would rather a meal be cooked with love than a meal cooked for me out of frustration. That's the word of God. That's the scripture. Because if any meal that's cooked out of frustration, that's the scripture. It ain't going to taste right. That's right. That's why I would rather us not have a meal, have a conversation, and maybe even eat out. But and I'm saying this as a example of things. Yeah. A lot of stuff we're building, and we're building a relationship, but it's being built out of frustration. Ain't nothing good gonna come out of that. Ain't nothing gonna taste good come out of that. And just being even transparent, even your sex life becomes something else that it's not supposed to be, because it doesn't have a natural fountain, and it's not pure. You have to, every area of your life needs to come from a place of love.
Right.
It needs to come from a place of purity. It needs to come from a place of humility. Somebody got to humble themselves.
Yeah.
Somebody still got to have that connection with God where we're able to make these things happen that need to happen.
Right.
Because a lot of you are eating meals. And she might be putting the meal on the table, but it ain't got no love in it.
It may have some rat poison in it. You keep going to keep treating her the way you treat you.
It don't taste like it's supposed to.
It sure don't. I mean, and you guys got to understand, I'm going to give you guys an assignment. I think that if a man right now, if you're listening to me, can you just try submission for a week? Do something different.
Amen.
I'm challenging you, brothers. Do something different. Speak to her a little softer, because you might be getting divorce papers and don't even know it. Speak kindly to her. Change your verbiage. Do me a favor, just this week, just yes, dear. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. You ain't no punk. Just because you're a black man and you tell her, yes, dear. No. Sure. Yes. What, sweetheart? Antoinette said her hot grits. She might be playing grip on. To get peace, you have to show peace.
Yeah.
If you want her to submit, try a different tactic, because it's clear what both of y'all doing is not working. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to start our day. I'm going to wait and see when they come out here with. You better not never say nothing about me finishing my meal. Because they was going in there with power.
And authority.
You see the way they got that car? They got the car with power. Good God today. Y'all have to be here.
Hey, we love you guys. It can work.
It can. If you both want it.
It can work, but somebody has to submit.
We gonna go in there. We gonna see what they do.
I am not finna go in and watch people eat.
Come on, we get ready to go to a march at 6:00. I hope to see y'all there.
Yeah, we gonna come back on live at the march.
Yeah, we going to a peaceful.
Let me tell y'all something.
NAACP.
Let me tell y'all something.
We gonna be there.
When she go on live, I won't be saying much.
You gonna be watching.
Cause I'm gonna be watching. If anybody drops a bottle, if I see, listen, let me tell you, cause I got this. She the fighter now.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Telling you, if I see anything, I love you too, mama. If I see anything, I'm taking my fighter.
No justice, no peace.
Home. We getting out of there.
No, I'm gonna run with you. I'm serious. I got this, son. I got the attorneys on deck. We ain't playing that, son. It's gonna be peaceful. But I know everybody wants to ride the ball, so I got you. I know I'm watching with a black man, so I'm gonna be careful. I'm gonna be very careful.
So y'all be praying for Apostle Gooden today.
Yeah.
Because everybody want the big black man. The big black man look like trouble anyway.
I gotta protect you. I'm gonna put. You want me to get you a Make America Great hat again? The reason why we in this that.
You want to put a Trump hat on me?
Hey, it might keep you. Oh, wait a minute. Y'all better go out and vote November.
Hey, because we heard something stupid last night.
Let me tell you something. Don't be messing with these people's votes, because if you think you got some riders and some looters, I promise you, if you mess with these people's vote, it's going to be worse than you could ever imagine. Don't mess with these people's votes now.
Y'all vote.
Y'all
please
out,
vote.
please.
We heard something that somebody's advertising they going to hold a vote. You going to hold your vote? You remember Pastor Cam was telling us about that.
Yeah, Puffy said it. Sean Combs said
it. Don't listen to nobody dumb talking about holding. This the time you got to vote.
How you gonna,
please vote. You going to hold your vote to hurt somebody? Who you hurt?
How you going to hold your vote? You just ain't going to vote.
You just ain't going to vote. So you ain't going to vote? So you mean tell me you going to let this idiot stay in the office because you ain't going to vote?
Wait a minute. Let me tell you, don't you mess with these people's votes. I'm telling you, Russia, mind your business. This is not your segment of the message. Y'all better get out here and vote. I promise you that. Get out here and vote and do it. Do it. Millennials, trust me. We have the power to change this situation. Don't you mess with these people's vote. All right, y'all. See y'all at 6 o'clock.
Peace. We love y'all.
All right, bye-bye. I'm going inside.